Hey guys, a good Monday to you. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning on my channel where I'm reading Bible in 1 year. And I finished reading 1 Kings chapter 2 yesterday, where I read about Solomon's reign and Adonijah aspiring to the throne is put to death. And normally I'd be drinking my tea and treats today, but hubby's downstairs with the kids, so I'm reading upstairs. And tomorrow I'll be doing the tea and treats again. But with this pandemic that's going on, I have a couple more verses, some new verses that I want to read to you guys that offer peace during this time. The first one comes from Psalms chapter 86:3, and it says, "Guard my life, for I am faithful to you. Save your servant who trusts in you. You are my God. Have mercy on me, Lord, for I call to you all day long." The second one comes from Psalms chapter 46, verse 1 through 2. It says, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth do change, and though the mountains be shaken into the heart of the seas." And yes, I just want to encourage you guys, if you're going through fear right now and experiencing all of that, I just want to encourage you to turn to the book of Psalms, where this word offers comfort and peace and hope and joy. And you can find all of that if you just meditate on these powerful promises found in the book. And I just love the book of Psalms. So sometimes when I don't know what to read, I turn to the book of Psalms and I find what I need. All right, so we're on day 100 of Bible in 1 year. It's just come by so fast. Everything's going by so quickly. And I'm going to be reading 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 1 through 28. Yeah, I feel like I just started this journey. All right, now Solomon made a treaty with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and married Pharaoh's daughter. Then he brought her to the city of David until he had finished building his own house and the house of the Lord, and the wall all around Jerusalem. Meanwhile, the people sacrificed at the high places because there was no house built for the name of the Lord until those days. And Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of his father David, except that he sacrificed and burned incense at the high places. Now the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. Solomon offered 1,000 burnt offerings on that altar. At Gibeon the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said, "Ask, what shall I give you?" And Solomon said, "You have shown great mercy to your servant David, my father, because he walked before you in truth, in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with you. You have continued this great kindness for him, and you have given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. Now, O Lord my God, you have made your servant king instead of my father David, but I am a little child. I do not know how to go out or come in. And your servant is in the midst of your people, whom you have chosen, a great people, too numerous to be numbered or counted. Therefore, give to your servant an understanding heart to judge your people, that I may discern between good and evil. For who is able to judge this great people of yours?" The speech pleased the Lord, that Solomon has asked this thing. Then God said to him, "Because you have asked this thing, and have not asked long life for yourself, nor have asked riches for yourself, nor have asked the life of your enemies, but have asked for yourself understanding to discern justice, behold, I have done according to your words. See, I have given you a wise and understanding heart, so that there has not been anyone like you before you, nor shall any like you arise after you. And I have also given you what you have not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be anyone like you among the kings all your days. So if you walk in my ways, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as your father David walked, then I will lengthen your days." Then Solomon awoke, and indeed it had been a dream, and he came to Jerusalem and stood there before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, offered up burnt offerings, offered peace offerings, and made a feast for all his servants. Now 2 women who were harlots came to the king and stood before him. And one woman said, "O my lord, this woman and I dwell in the same house, and I gave birth while she was in the house. Then it happened the 3rd day that I had given birth, that this woman also gave birth, and we were together. No one was with us in the house except the 2 of us in the house. And the woman's son died in the night because she lay on him. So she arose in the middle of the night and took my son from my side while your maidservant slept. and laid him in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. And when I rose in the morning to nurse my son, there he was dead. But when I had examined him in the morning, indeed, he was not my son whom I had born. Then the other woman said, No, but this living one is my son, and the dead one is your son. And the first woman said, No, but the dead one is your son, and the living one is my son. Thus they spoke before the king, and the king said, The one says, This is my son who lives, and your son is dead one. And the others say, No, but your son is the dead one, and my son is the living one. Then the king said, Bring me a sword. So that they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, Divide the living child in two, and give half to one and half the other. Then the woman whose son was living spoke to the king, for she yearned with compassion for her son, and said, O my lord, give her the living child, and by no means kill him. But the other said, Let him be neither mine nor yours, but divide him. So the king answered and said, Give the first woman the living child, and by no means kill him. She is his mother. And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had rendered, and they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to administer justice. 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 through 34. So King Solomon was king over all Israel, and there were his officials, Azariah, the son of Zadok the priest, Elihoreth, and Ahijah, the son of Shisha, scribes, Jehoshaphat, the son of Ehud, the recorder, Benaniah, the son of Jehoiada, over the army, Zadok and Abiathar, the priest, Azariah, the son of Nathan, over the officers, Zabad, the son of Nathan, a priest, and the king's friend, Ahishar, over the household, and Adoram, the son of Abda, over the labor force. And Solomon had 12 governors over all Israel, who provided food for the king and his household. Each one made provision for the 1 month of the year. These are their names: Ben-Hur in the mountains of Ephraim, Ben-Deker in Makas, Shalbim, Beth-Shemesh, and Elon Beth-Hanan, Beth-Hezed, and Arabath. To him belonged Sogok, in all the land of Hefer, Ben-Adinabab, in all the regions of Dor. He had Taphath, the daughter of Solomon, as wife, Bana, the son of Elud, and Tanakh, Megiddo, and all Beth-Shean, which is beside Zeratan, below Jezreel, from Beth-Shean to Abel-Meholah, as far as the other side of Jokmeam. Then Geber, and Ramoth-Gilead, to him belonged the towns of Jair, the son of Manasseh, in Gilead. To him also belonged the region of Argob, and Bashan, 60 large cities with walls and bronze gate bars. Ahinadab, the son of Ado, in Maanam, Ahimaaz, in Naphtali. He also took Basemoth, the daughter of Solomon, as wife, Benaiah, the son of Hushai, in Asher, and Aloth, Jehoshaphat, the son of Paru, in Issachar, Shimei, the son of Elah, in Benjamite, Geber, the son of Uri, in the land of Gilead, in the country of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and of Og, king of Bashan. He was the only governor who was in the land. Judah and Israel were as numerous as the sand by the sea in multitude, eating and drinking and rejoicing. So Solomon reigned over all the kingdoms from the river to the land of the Philistines, as far as the border of Egypt. They brought tribute and served Solomon all the days of his life. Now Solomon's provision for one day was 30 cores of fine flour, 60 cores of meal, 10 fattened oxen, 20 oxen from the pastures, and 100 sheep, besides deer, gazelles, roebucks, and fattened fowl. For he had dominion over all the region on this side of the river, from Tisbah even to Gaza, namely over all the kings on the side of the river, and he had peace on every side all around him. And Judah and Israel dwelt safely, each man under his vine and his fig tree, from Dan as far as Beersheba, all the days of Solomon. Solomon had 40,000 stalls of horses for his chariots, and 12,000 horsemen. And these governors, each man in his month, provided food for King Solomon. And for all who came to King Solomon's table, there was no lack in their supply. They also brought barley and straw to the proper place, for the horses and steeds, each man according to his charge. And God gave Solomon wisdom and exceedingly great understanding and largeness of heart, like the sand on the seashore. Thus Solomon's wisdom excelled the wisdom of all the men of the east and all the wisdom of Egypt. For he was wiser than all men, than Ethan and Esarthite and Heman, Charcoal, and Darda, the sons of Mahol. And his fame was in all the surrounding nations. He spoke 3,000 proverbs, and his songs were 1,005. Also he spoke of trees, from the cedar tree of Lebanon, even to the hyssop and springs out of the wall. He spoke also of animals and birds, of creeping things and of fish. And men of all nations, from all the kings of the earth, who had heard of his wisdom, came to hear the wisdom of Solomon. 1 Kings chapter 5, verse 1 through 18. Now Hiram, king of Tyre, sent his servants to Solomon, because he heard that they had anointed the king in place of his father, for Hiram had always loved David. Then Solomon sent to Hiram, saying, You know how my father David could not build a house for the name of the Lord his God, because of the wars which were fought against him on every side, until the Lord put his foes under the soles of his feet. But now the Lord my God has given me rest on every side. There is neither adversary nor evil occurrence. And behold, I propose to build a house for the name of the Lord my God, as the Lord spoke to my father David, saying, Your son, whom I will set on your throne in your place, he shall build the house for my name. Now therefore, command that they cut down cedars for me from Lebanon, and my servants will put with your servants, and I will pay you wages for your servants according to whatever you say. For you know there is none among us who has skill to cut timber like the Sidonians. So it was, when Hiram heard the words of Solomon, that he rejoiced greatly and said, Blessed be the Lord this day, for he has given David a wise son over the great people. Then Hiram sent to Solomon, saying, I have considered the message which you sent me, and I will do all you desire concerning the cedar and cypress logs. My servant shall bring them down from Lebanon to the sea. I will float them in rafts by sea to this place you indicate to me, and will have them broken apart there. Then you can take them away, and you shall fulfill my desire by giving food for my household. Then Hiram gave Solomon cedar and cypress logs according to all his desire. And Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 cors of wheat as food for his household, and 20 cors of pressed oil. Thus Solomon gave to Hiram year by year. So the Lord gave Solomon wisdom, as he had promised him, and there was peace between Hiram and Solomon, and the two of them made a treaty together. Then King Solomon raised up a labor force out of all Israel, and the labor force was 30,000 men. And he sent them to Lebanon, 2,000 a month in shifts. They were in 1 month in Lebanon and 2 months at home. Adoniram was in charge of the labor force. Solomon had 70,000 who carried burdens, and 80,000 who quarried stones in the thousands. Besides 3,300 from the chiefs of Solomon's deputies who supervised the people who labored in the work. And the king commanded them to quarry large stones, costly stones, and hewn stones to lay the foundation of the temple. So Solomon's builders, Hiram's builders, and the Jebusites quarried them, and they prepared timber and stones to build the temple. And that concludes today's reading. Now in 1 Kings chapter 5 verse 12 it says, So the Lord gave Solomon wisdom as he had promised him. Now the Lord always follows through on his promises. We may not see how he could fulfill our promise, but trusting God means leading beyond what we see to what God sees. So tomorrow we will be on day 101 of Bible in 1 year, and I'm going to be reading 1 Kings chapter 6. So please join me again on my channel tomorrow, and I think I'm going to be doing the tea and treats again. So thank you guys so much for tuning in with me on Time with Tiffy. If you have any questions, please do comment below, and I will get back with you as soon as I can. And please remember to share, comment, like, and subscribe to Time with Tiffy, where we do sip on tea so flavory, eat treats so savory, and enjoy reading these books of the Bible, doing Bible in 1 year. You all have a blessed day. Until next time.